Let's take you back to France now, because President Macron is visiting Nice, as we were saying, to lead the commemoration events which mark the one-year anniversary since the devastating terror attack on the city, in which 86 people died a year ago, in that lorry attack which left 86 dead and some 300 people injured. It comes amidst the annual Bastille Day celebrations across the country. Let's talk to the French journalist Nabila Ramdani, who's watching these pictures from Nice with me. A beautiful evening there in Nice, as we can see, but obviously such a horrific attack there, and really so many people lost their lives. And France has suffered a number of terror attacks, in Paris and elsewhere, but this was so devastating.
Yes, absolutely. And what President Macron is determined to show, in spite of the fact that he's only a short way into his presidency, is that he's taking his official duties extremely seriously. And it's very easy to accuse a president to be capital-centric, but what he's proving today is that Nice is an essential city as well, and of course it's very important for him to be down there and to commemorate the tragedy 1 year on. And it is, remember that President Macron is not just a senior politician, he's also a head of state, so that's the closest France has to a monarch, effectively. So in those circumstances, he's very much the father of the nation who is leading the commemorations for the morning. And he, of course, is going to insist that Bastille Day remains a day of national pride, but today is also a day of huge sadness. And the victims of the slaughter will be remembered in all sorts of ways, not least of all in interfaith tributes. Remember that all sorts of people from different backgrounds were killed, all religions, all nationalities and indeed ethnicities.
And we're seeing the parades of Bastille Day, of course, right now in Nice, I suppose in part to show that Bastille Day will be commemorated as ever in Nice, despite that attack a year ago. But also, I think, some medals being handed out to those who heroically helped on the day of that attack.
Yes, absolutely. It remains a national holiday, a national day of pride to commemorate the storming of the Bastille prison at the beginning of the French Revolution. And it was also, when the tragedy happened last year, it was a day where people were enjoying and indeed recalling the birth of the modern republic. So the emphasis is very much on that historical side of the celebration, with military tributes. President Macron just come back from celebrations in the capital city, so there's a desire to replicate that in Nice as well. But he also be keen to highlight the fact that on a day like this, it is also the best day for commemorations, but also for quiet reflection as well. And the victims of the Nice attacks will be remembered in many different ways indeed, through praying or just thinking, or indeed coming together as a community.
And in the wake of that Nice terror attack and the other terror attacks that France has suffered, how far do you think France has changed? Obviously, hugely increased security, but has it changed politically, do you think?
I think President Macron came in making it very clear that he wanted to be the president of all France and unite a very divided country. But crucially, he wanted to put the resources in to prevent such attacks in the future, and indeed to combat very forcefully the scourge of terrorism. But it has to be said that absolute security cannot be guaranteed, especially when it involved mentally ill people using an unconventional weapon, such as a lorry. And as we've seen since the Nice attack, this means of murdering people has been used in other different countries, not least of all the UK.
Yeah, indeed. And just casting our mind back to that day a year ago when that horrific attack happened, there were huge crowds, weren't there, on the seafront in Nice celebrating Bastille Day when the lorry was driven into them.
Yes, indeed, and that's what makes really this act of terrorism particularly horrific, precisely because it involved, a truck basically ramming into a crowd of thousands of people who were just out and about enjoying the fireworks on a bank holiday. And for that reason, it was you know, a particularly horrific attack in itself.
Indeed. All right, Nabila Ramdani, thank you so much for being with us. Nabila, a French journalist with me here in the studio. Thank you.